Notes for the Toles exam by your legal English teacher. Occupier's liability. This is an important term that you need to study for the Toles exam. Imagine if you own or control some real property. It could be a house or an office or a park. You are legally responsible for keeping it safe for anybody who is there. If someone gets hurt because of a dangerous condition of that property, you could be held liable and have to pay damages. Be held liable means to be held legally at fault, usually by a court or a tribunal. Let's have a look at a number of situations where somebody sued the property owner or the occupier of the property for damages because they got hurt on that property. While we have a look at those situations, I would like you to note two things. One of them, this will be the descriptions of the word case. And the other thing will be different expressions that describe the moment when you go to court and want to sue somebody, when you start legal proceedings against somebody. They will all be useful for your Toles exam. Let's go. There is a well-known case in English law where a woman slipped on a grape in a supermarket. Can you imagine? A grape, tiny little grape, and fractured her hip. She later brought a claim against the supermarket under Occupier'S Liability. There is another case in English law, a notable case, where a child fell through a rotten wooden bridge in a public park and broke his arm. His parents later filed a claim against the local council under Occupier'S Liability. There is another widely reported case in English law where an elderly man tripped over a broken pavement slab outside a shopping center and shattered his wrist. He later initiated legal proceedings against a property management company under Occupier'S Liability. Another high-profile case in English law where a warehouse worker fell through an unmarked trapdoor on his employer's premises and suffered serious spinal injuries. He later started a claim against the company under Occupier'S Liability. And another landmark case, this time in English law, where a young girl was badly burned after touching an unfenced electrical unit in a public playground. Later, her legal guardian sued the local authority under Occupier'S Liability. If you come across any of such sentences in the Toles exam, it's highly likely you are being tested on Occupier'S Liability. Let's now look at the adjectives describing the word case. A well-known case, a notable case, a widely reported case, a high-profile case, and a landmark case. And now let's sum up the expressions to start proceedings in court. Brought a claim against, filed a claim against, initiated legal proceedings, started a claim, and sued. One of the legal eagles noted that the Polish Civil Code seems to recognize the occupier's liability. Apparently, he believes Article 433 describes occupier's liability. Let's have a look at it. Do you think it is equivalent to occupier's liability? Article 433 says that an occupant of the premises is liable for the damage caused by the throwing, spilling, or falling of any object from the premises. Article 433 of the Polish Civil Code also sets out exceptions. You can say either exceptions to this rule, or you can say exemptions from this rule. One of the exemptions from this rule is when the damage resulted from force majeure. So even if you are the occupant of the premises and in principle you are responsible for the safety of the persons who are your guests, you will not be held liable for the harm that they suffer if the damage resulted from force majeure. Is there a term in your jurisdiction for occupier's liability? What is the expression in your native tongue for occupier's liability? Thank you for listening to the notes for the Toles exam by your legal English teacher. See you next time.